One of the things that I really appreciate are people who work in mental health facilities and who take care of people who would otherwise not be able to take care of themselves. I was listening to a story recently that was being told by someone who takes care of those who are mentally limited. And in the facility that this person works at, there is a woman who likes to smoke cigarettes. And as it turns out, in this facility, this woman is allowed to smoke cigarettes if they have been procured for her and if they are available. But every so often, they're not available. And the woman comes to the staff and asks for cigarettes. The staff suggests that perhaps her family would like to provide her cigarettes so they could give them to her on a periodic basis. And the woman expresses anger about her family. And the staff member looked at me with compassion and understanding in the eyes and said, "We can't give her what we don't have." And I really look at this and I think about spirituality, and I think that sometimes the real problem and the real difficulty is we are looking at people around us and we are expecting them to give us something that they simply don't have. And I think that a lot of the damage, a lot of the difficulty, a lot of the trauma that people go through growing up is that often they have parents whom they are looking to give them things that simply the parents don't have. And sometimes things move in a generational fashion where if there is a parent who is abusive to the child, that child grows up and becomes abusive to their child, and you end up having a reoccurring pattern that can move through the generations. And sometimes the cry of the heart that people have is, why can't you give me what I want? Now, love, mercy, compassion, discipline, all the character and all the things that are part of what we need in our life to grow up in a balanced fashion and be able to be functional adults are things that are much better for us than cigarettes are in the initial opening story. But the truth of the matter is that we can only get from people what they have, what they can give, and what they have been given themselves. And so sometimes you end up moving through a stage or you move through a portion of your life, and whether it's as a child with parents, whether it's a situation where you are married to someone else, you are looking to those who are close to you and those who are around you to give you what you need. And if they don't have it, they can't give it. And if they don't have it and if they can't give it, the question is, do you have to live without it forever or for this entire life? And I would suggest to you that part of developing a spirituality, and of course you know that I believe in Scripture. I believe in the Hebrew Scriptures, the New Covenant. I believe in God working in salvation history, starting at the very beginning of Genesis and moving through the patriarchs and moving through the prophets and the writings and moving through history, whether we were in the land of promise or in exile, and moving through to the revelation of Yeshua the Messiah and the writings of his apostolic followers. I believe that there is healing, that there is wholeness, there is provision, and what you can't be given by those around you, God is willing to step in as you draw close to him, as you consume his word in the Bible, as you end up seeking him spiritually through prayer, as you join in a faith community that shares the same worldview as you do. I believe that what you can't get from people who don't have it, that God will use these spiritual tent poles as an opportunity so that you can get what you really need and what God really wants for you to have. Shalom.